Hi. So I am live. Brian is currently out of town, and today he's in Dallas. The other day he was in San Antonio. He's jobbing in those cities, but I have not gone live on YouTube before, so I thought I would come on and answer y'all's questions. Or we've been sent so many questions from people that it seems like they would really like to hear from us. So I'll start with some of our listening questions. Um, so as far as okay, here's the first one. What genre of music is y'all's favorite? I really like indie rock, like Stephen Malkmus and Broken Social Scene and um like Glass Animals, bands like that. Brian's super into like heavy metal, so he's into um Metallica, AC/DC, Eminem. He likes a lot of bass, he likes to listen to it when he's like lifting heavy things off the ground and putting them back down, that kind of thing. How long have you been together? This is a pretty common question. A lot of people often think we've been together a lot longer than we have, which is a nice compliment. We got married in 2019, so we will have been together 5 years, and we'll have been married 5 years in July. We met in 2018, and yeah, we've had a um, great journey. Since you first met, has Brian ever shaved his beard? Brian actually did not have a beard when we first met. And he will, but I told him, I think early on, that I liked beards. And so he's pretty much kept a beard for the majority of our relationship. He did, I think the last time that he completely shaved it was when our daughter, she was just a few months old, and didn't want to touch him, kind of reaction to it. So he just really hasn't shaved it since. Do you have any fur kids? How many and what kind? We have two dogs. We have a Newfie Doodle that's about 95 pounds and is about 2 years old. And then we have a Yorkie that's about 10 pounds and she is 7 years old. How old are your kids? So Brian and I were both married before we met each other. He had been divorced about 10 years. I had just gotten divorced earlier that year. It took probably about 11. It took almost a year for my divorce to be finalized. So Brian has an 18-year-old from a previous marriage. I had twin 7-year-olds. Well, they were two at the time. They're now seven. Twin 7-year-olds now, boy girl twins. And then we had a daughter together who's 3. What got you started with the pickup lines? So I have always sort of been like this. I've always sort of liked shock humor and saying things that don't necessarily match with people's perception or idea of me based on how I look or whatever. I've done this since I was a teenager. So probably the second date, I know that I made like a dirty pickup line with Brian. And it's just gone since then. So, Josh, have your kids accidentally heard the dirty jokes from your videos? And if so, what was their reaction? Okay, so we have performed. There are a couple of videos that we've actually filmed around them. There was one video where they were sitting behind us in the car and we did turn the seat warmers on. I want to keep your dinner warm. They didn't ask any questions. I believe that's the only one that we filmed with them anywhere near us. That's probably the only one. There have been a couple of times where we were just done with filming and a child walks in, but we really try to reserve our video filming for after all the kids are in bed or they are napping or playing outside, just because it's too loud, it's too much racket, and it's just easier that way, just not having them around. But that was one video that they ended up being filmed in front of them. And they never asked anything. They never had any questions about that. Um, so what got you started with the pickup line? So that basically we ended up making what was already a part of our relationship public in December of 2023. So we haven't even been doing this 3 months. I have had a platform. I was a relationship coach, so I was helping people on basically like recovering from unhealthy relationships. And I was needing a break because that content was really heavy, really, really sad content. I was just needing a break. So I was doing more personal stuff, stuff about me growing up, stuff about, I don't know, me. And then I saw a video, or Brian showed me a video that was just like a couple like joking with each other. And so I asked Brian if he would do one with me. And so I wrote it out, wrote what I was going to do, and we did one, and people loved it and asked us to do more, and so we kept doing more, and then here we are. We continue to do them. Our first video was posted December 29th, 2023, and here we are less than 3 months later, and we're still doing this and still enjoying it. I feel like I have pickup lines for like days. It seems like people submit them. There's ones that I write based on different themes. Like the sports themes ones are all ones I pretty much write. Brian must know what's coming when the camera and pearls come out. I'd run and hide. Yeah, that is actually what happens. There are some times where we've needed to do a video and Brian has like come home from work and I'm already wearing the pearls. I already have the camera set up and he's like, "Oh, so that's what we're doing." Natural Witch, I actually shared your channel with my daughter. Oh, well, I hope she enjoys it. Our oldest has had us blocked for years. She does not want to see us on social media. She does not like it. And so we don't know I imagine she's seen it, or some of her friends have showed us, but she's not said anything to us about it. And my other kids they're 7 and 3. They're too young to hear anything about it, but it's cool. Yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in a chat box. I have a bunch of questions that have been shared with me, so I will be going by those. As I mentioned when this started, Brian's currently out of town. He was in San Antonio. Now he's in Dallas. He'll be coming home late tonight, and so we've never done a YouTube live, so we thought we would try it, and it just ended up having to be me. I know I'm only half. I'm only half of the coupleship, but still fun to hang out with you guys. How did we meet? I met Brian on Tinder, actually. We were both divorced single parents, and that's how we met, on Tinder of all places. Is it safe to assume Brian's mind isn't as dirty as yours? Yes, I am definitely the bad influence on my husband, but I kind of love that about him. He is very like all of those dad jokes. That's what he loves. Like dad jokes are his thing. He just loves it. Did you guys bond over being former punk rockers? I'm getting that vibe. Okay, so James, I might be considered former punk rocker. Brian is not. He was a fraternity boy. He was a president of his fraternity, very prep. Um, in college, I had a mohawk and a shaved head. Um, I didn't get I started having tattoos after college because I couldn't afford them. But I had lots of piercings. But I was very much like a former punk rocker, but Brian was not. Brian's prep school boy. How do you find your pickup lines? For the pickup lines you make, what is your inspiration? For the pickup lines that I write, it kind of just depends. Some I will just think of, others are around specific themes. So like the ones that I wrote about golf or football, I have to research the sport. And the hilarious things about sports is there's so many innuendos already built into them, like golf having stiff shaft and foursome. I mean, it's like already built in. It's so easy to do. So, I think that's part of it, is just like the research of it, and so right now I'm actually researching or writing jokes about Channing Tatum. So on our Instagram account, we have like 470,000 followers or something like that. And Channing Tatum actually just followed us, the actor for Magic Mike, which is amazing. So we, in honor of him, Brian and I were going to do some jokes on Channing Tatum. And I was actually writing some of those today. Just, I was sort of like riffing and figuring out what I would write for those. So we'll play. It's just, I don't know. It's just fun. It's really fun to write that. My daughter is a NICU nurse, and it really makes a stress release for her. Yeah, I bet. My twins are in the NICU for only a week, thankfully, but it's a stressful, sad job. Josh, how many times has Brian spit out his drink from a dirty joke? I'm so glad your channel randomly popped up on my YouTube page. Okay, Brian has only spit up his drink one time because every time he sees the pearls and the camera, he puts his drink down. He will not have a drink in his mouth anymore. So one thing I think one thing we would like to do is I've seen it on TikTok multiple times. It's like a trend where like people hold water in their mouth and see how long they can hold it. I would like to see if I could have Brian do it and maybe him do it on me too, to see how that goes. Did you use a pickup line on Brian on Tinder when you matched? No. So I actually matched with Brian out of pity. Um, Pity and a desire to help him actually. When I had been on Tinder for a few months. I'd had several dates with several nice people, but I hadn't found anybody I was interested in. And I chose to swipe on him. He had so his bio on Tinder had one picture, his name, his age, and his job title. And nothing in his profile, nothing. And just the one picture. And he seemed like he had this very nice smile. He seemed like a nice guy. He's very obviously very handsome. But my swiping on him, I just thought I would give him some help. And so literally one of my first messages to him was like, "Hey, you really need to have more pictures and something written in your profile. Like girls are not going to swipe right on you if this is all you have." And then those comments he just was like, "Well, why don't you go to dinner with me and write my profile?" And I was like, "Well, what's in it for me? Like I'm coming, I'm doing all the work, I'm looking nice." And he's like, "Well, I'll buy you dinner and we'll see what happens." And between that little conversation and our actual date, it had become more flirty. And then we met and it was, here we are. But yeah, it actually started because of I was gonna help the boy out because clearly he needed some help, and he was fine. He didn't need any help at all. He's got Brian's got good game. Brian's got good game. But yeah, let's see what our next question is. All right. Are you from Michigan? Brian's actually from Michigan. We currently live outside Memphis, Tennessee. Brian's from Michigan. He moved to outside Memphis when he was 16. My family's all from Ohio, but I moved 9 times before I was 12. And I have been in Tennessee since I was 12, except for I also went to college in Atlanta. Let's see. When is Brian hitting on you? When the camera's off. We'll probably talk about this like more and more, but like Brian and I really do not find doing pickup lines with a camera, with a ring light, with pearls on. We like don't find it very sexy. It might people make comments like I can see your tension or whatever. Like I think both of us don't find it very sexy. Like the jokes are fun and we're laughing together, but it doesn't feel like sexy time. At least for us. I don't know what it does for other people. How do you deal with people that ask way too many personal questions? There are some things that Brian and I like won't talk about. Like we're not going to talk about like the ins and outs of our sex life because that's got to stay private. Like we got to have some things private. But people can ask him. We just may not answer. His dad jokes need some work when going up against your dirty jokes. Lost track of how many times I said, "Dear Lord," and buried my face in my palm. That's Brian. Like, that's Brian. I don't know if his dad jokes need work because I think they're accomplishing what he would hope. He loves his dad jokes and all of the kids will go up to him and be like, I'm hungry. He goes, "Hi, hungry. I'm dad." Like those are the lame dad jokes that he loves telling, that he laughs at. So that's just him. Do you actually write your dirty jokes or find them online? So I either write them or they are submitted. That's how my that's how the majority. If it's a themed one, like the St. Patty's Day or the football or golf, if it's themed, absolutely, I wrote all of those. Because usually I'm not able to find jokes that are specific to a theme. So I'm having to like go and research the sport and figure it out. But the majority, it just kind of depends. I get so many good submissions. So if y'all have submissions, feel free to send them to me either on, the best way to get to me is just DM on Instagram. I may not respond, but I read all the messages and then I add them to a list. I have so many master lists of pickup lines that, I mean, and I have them based on themes. I have them based on holidays. Like, we did one on President's Day. We've done so many that it's just super fun. I love writing them. I never thought I would be doing this. So it's super fun for me. My other half, aka Orgasmic Sex God, introduced me to your channel. Thankful, and he has y'all crack me up from one Michigan to another. Go Blue Brian. Oh, thanks. Glad you like it. Dad jokes are only supposed to make the dad laugh and everyone else groan. Well, that means Brian has it perfectly because that's totally the case. Everybody groans, but he's giggling. So, well, yeah, that's his shtick. That's his shtick. It's just funny that dad joke and mom joke are so different in our family. I think I love mom jokes way more than I like dad jokes, but I love Brian, so I'm gonna love his dad jokes too. What do you both do for real jobs? Brian has a corporate job where he is currently traveling about 90% of the time. He was traveling just 25% of the time, but he's a like like decently high level executive, and he is constantly getting recognized for our content when he's out and about now or when he's meeting with customers or things like that. He was in San Antonio earlier this week and now he's in Dallas and he's been recognized by customers. They may not put the pieces together immediately. Like he was working with a woman for 2 days um before she pulled him aside and said, "Hey, I just realized last night who you are." And she'd been following us for a couple weeks. So, nobody at his job is unhappy with our social media stuff. That was a concern that we had. But he doesn't name his company. We're not talking badly about his company or anything like that. So, um, but yeah, that's what he does for a job. I've been a content creator for over 10 years. I was started with blogging and then writing blogs for other companies. At that time, I also got certified to be a relationship coach. And so I was teaching, writing blogs for other companies, blogging for myself, and then also coaching clients on how to improve their relationships and get out of unhealthy relationships. And then in 2020, I left teaching and was just doing content creation and relationship coaching. And I was doing that up until literally December of 2023. Now I'm 90% content creation and a little bit relationship coaching. I still meet with some of my current clients. I just don't have any new clients, but this and what Brian and I are doing now is what I do full time. I just discovered your jokes playlist and gotta say it's my new favorite thing online. I haven't laughed that hard. I'm so glad. Like we have so much fun doing all of these. And so I'm glad that that people are relating to it and like it. It's fun. Like Brian and I are having fun doing it. There is some stress in us doing it, but it's still fun. And I mean stress because we have very limited time together, especially with Brian traveling 90% of the time right now. And we have 4 kids and trying to make sure that like everybody is happy. Like we're spending time with kids, we're having quality time with them, we're having quality time with each other, plus also trying to carve out these little um, time to do these videos. But it's been fun. Like we just really enjoy it. Do you ever put the pearls on just to mess with Brian and play mind games? I absolutely should. I should. I haven't at all. Brian and I don't really like play pranks at all. Like that's just never something we've done, or like we've never jumped out at each other and scared each other or anything. But I absolutely should just start wearing the pearls all of the time. So he's like always wondering, like, when's it coming? The We Are a Married Couple ones are what do you say cracks me up? Yeah. Those are fun. We're always looking for like new fun things to do. Um, Everybody loves the horrifying my husband with dirty pickup lines, but like the We Are a Married Couple, it also gave Brian an opportunity to just like sort of showcase like how he talks and hanging out. And same thing with dad jokes versus mom jokes. It kind of showcases like him. Um, and he's just the more the more innocent of the two of us. He just is. It's precious. It's precious. All right, what other questions I got? Y'all can feel free to put questions. I have a whole list that we have been sent. I'm a legend. Thank you. I don't feel like a legend, but thank you. Um, would you ever consider going to a swingers club? This is a question we've been asked multiple times. Are we swingers? Are we poly? Are we open? Blah blah blah. That's just not for us. We are monogamous. I only want to be with him. He only wants to be with me. That kind of thing. How about horrifying pickup lines for the wife? So Brian has said that he will do some with me. He's done a few that we've put on our IG subscription and our passes membership, ones where he has said the pickup lines. The ones that he's done a couple where he just like threw them out. There are ones that he had known or like prepared. But the ones that we've done behind the paywall are like I would write the jokes and he would have to read them cold. So he wouldn't know in advance what they were. And I thought it was funny. So we'll see. I don't know. Brian has agreed that he will start doing some pickup lines when we reach 500,000 followers on Instagram and 600,000 followers on TikTok. And we're close on both of those platforms. So will he wear the pearls while he does pickup lines? He really should. He really should. We should do the whole outfit. Brian always wears Under Armour, so I could wear his like Under Armour, and he could wear the pearls. Does he use his wood when buying your back 9? We got a couple that were like that. Golf has there's so many good pickup lines for golf. And it's just like the innuendo, it's just built with all those innuendos. That's why sports are so much fun too. I didn't know it. I've watched football since I was a kid and I felt like I never really understood it very well, but writing those jokes was so fun. But do I like geometry? I mean, I'm not a particular fan of math, but go ahead, give me your pickup line because I feel like this is coming. I feel like somebody had a question. Bring on the medical jokes. We medical people have sadistic humor. I can add it. I have so many. So the way I have, because you look fine from all the angles. Thank you. I will. That'd be a good one to do for Brian. Brian's he's an engineer by training and schooling, so he likes all those jokes. But what was I gonna say? The way I do jokes is I have a one major list, and these are jokes that are not based on any kind of theme. These are just jokes that I find that I can just like plug in, and I have them. I have so many, honestly, that I've received, that I've written and just put there. And then I have different notes for each theme. Like I had one for golf, I had one for football, for the Super Bowl, for St. Patty's Day, for March Madness. I have all these different themed ones. I've been asked to do hunting and fishing. I have so many. And either I will focus in on a themed one and finish it because I we need to have about 5 to 6 jokes per minute long video. So once it has 5 to 6 jokes, we can go ahead and record. So I might go and just add to it just sporadically, or I might go in and be like, okay, this is the next theme video we're doing. I need to write these, this kind of thing. Do you practice keeping a straight face for the pickup lines? For some of them, I have had to. So, could you be a gentleman and push in my stool? I could not say that with a straight face to save my life. I don't know how long I practiced. I was repeating it in the mirror in the bathroom. I was repeating it when I was alone in the car. I just kept, and I even told Brian before we did this, I was like, this one is so good. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this one. But I did as soon as it was done, I was laughing, but I got through it. I do have a very good poker face. I did poker tournaments in my early 20s. Um, but sometimes the jokes really get me. So, all right, AM. Yes, I feel lost. Tell me what comes next. The next question is, are there any jokes that your husband has said, no, don't use that? So, my husband, Brian's coworkers, his boss, everybody has found our platform within the last month. I would say about a month, if not a few weeks. People have, they've discovered us on TikTok or Instagram and they've approached him and be like, hey, I think this is you and your wife. So since the beginning, we've always sort of been careful about jokes that we've put out, that kind of thing. Um, there are also some jokes that platforms will not distribute or put out because they're a little bit too bad. Like they use the specific words, they're too graphic in description, that kind of thing. So that's why we created our passes membership. You can find that in the link in our channel. Our passes membership is where we put exclusive paywalled content. These are jokes that we cannot post anywhere else because, for one, they're usually more graphic, they're usually dirtier. And these are jokes Brian's not comfortable with, like, his boss seeing. So that's why those jokes are behind that paywall. So only paying members can see those. As far as jokes that Brian's like, no, don't use that. Brian does not love any butt jokes that are directed at him. Which is part of the reason why I love those, because he doesn't like them. So, but he's never said like, no, don't use that. He might just be like, can we put that behind the paywall? Brian's a really great sport. Jim, have you done the what's the 6.9 a good thing ruined by a period? Oh yeah. I know it's the last joke on a video. I think I'm wearing like a blue flannel. I don't know if that really helps you because there's so many videos. We've done over 50 something in just that category, but it's a horrifying my husband video. And I think I'm wearing like a blue flannel with the pearls. And that's the last joke. But yeah, that's Brian's a really good sport. I don't think every person would be super comfortable playing the role that he does, but he's a great sport about it. Has your husband ever told you a joke so naughty you couldn't speak? So, one thing that I've noticed that has changed in our relationship, mine and Brian's relationship, is before it was always me doing the dirty jokes and the dirty quips, and Brian would do all of his dad jokes because that's his thing. But in the last like few weeks, he's now started like dropping dirty jokes. Like, he's out of town right now, as I mentioned earlier, and I can't remember what he said, but he like dropped a dirty joke in text, which is not that's totally new for him to be doing. So it's been fun because that was not something in our relationship. It was always me doing it and him not. Um But now he's starting to, I guess, get comfortable and drop them. So we'll see. I don't remember. I'm trying to scroll up. Brian and I text a lot, especially when he's out of town. But he made some kind of joke. But I remember being like, I was like, look at you, you're changing. um, but it's funny. I'm beyond excited for Dirty Pickup Lines video 69 or part 69. I feel like we probably need to do something special for number 69, but we'll see. We'll see where we are. We've got 14. I think we're on part 55 now or 56. So we've got 13 to 14 parts to go um, to see what happens. So far this has just been it's just been so much fun. It's not whatever. It's not anything we would have expected for us. Oh, I'm trying so bad to find this joke. Anyway, it was good. We can be proud of Brian for dropping some jokes. With March Madness now underway, any plans to do a Dirty Pickup Lines edition? Absolutely. Let me see actually how many the jokes I have. So I've actually been collecting March Madness jokes for a little bit. Let's see. Here we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5. Brian's currently out of town, so this will probably be a this weekend filming. But we've got. I probably need 1 or 2 more. And then I usually do, if y'all join my Instagram, which is Tara Blair Ball. There's no period in it, like it is on YouTube. If you join that, there's a little chat group where I sometimes people help me workshop or brainstorm jokes, or I'll ask for jokes, and that's sometimes where I get submissions and things like that. So I know that I will put one for March Madness soon. Like here's an example of a March Madness joke. Like I'll get on my knees and you can set the 30-second shot clock. Like jokes like that. Like those are ones that I write, and I love the ones that I write because I don't know, I'm proud of them. And it's fun. Want to slam your balls into my basket. Like these are the kind of jokes that I write. My favorite joke, I get asked this a lot. Like, what's my favorite joke? My favorite joke is again one that I wrote. It's like, do you like office supplies? Brian said yes, and I said good because you can be my hole puncher. That one's definitely my favorite joke. I also really liked to make sure you come on time. I shaved you a roadmap. Again, those are jokes that I wrote, so they've got like a special place in my heart. Brian really likes like it was a Keebler's joke, like, "Are you a Keebler's elf? Because I want you to give me a double stuffing," or something like that. He kind of like he generally says when he likes it. Like he'll say right after we like after the joke's done, he'll be like, "I actually like that one," or "I liked that one." So he kind of says it, but he doesn't really have a favorite. He definitely does not like any butt play jokes directed at him. So he definitely has some not favorites. All right, y'all. I am going to get off here, but it was great chatting with you. And I'll try to have our next one with Brian so y'all can chat with him too. The Summer Olympics. Yeah, that's a good one too. I don't have that on my list, so I will actually add that. Um, I will actually add that to my notes because you're so right. Summer Olympics would be some good jokes. The innuendos are built into every sport. Um, Perfect. All right. It was great chatting with y'all. Bye.